Greetings everyone. This is a quick promo before the video begins. If you're new to the channel and you didn't know it yet, I am actually an author in addition to being a YouTuber, and I have 2 books that you can get on Amazon. Operation Red Dragon: The Daikaiju Wars Part 1 and The Occult Mafia. The first is sort of a bizarre, absurdist kaiju anime mashup, and the other is a horror noir story with a hint of a western thrown in there. They're both set in the same universe, and at this point have received mostly positive reviews, so you might want to check them out. I've provided Amazon links for both of them down in the description. They're both available in either paperback or Amazon Kindle, and Operation Red Dragon is also available in audiobook form. So if either of these strike your fancy and you want to support a struggling artist, feel free to go down and check out either one or both of them. Alright, the shameless self-promotion is out of the way, we can get on with the video. Thank you all for your support. Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am the Omni viewer, and it's possible you can hear the sound of a wind and rainstorm passing through. My studio can only be so soundproofed, but that's not going to stop me from doing what must be done. Recently I was tagged by a demon, and now I am cursed until I answer several questions.
Demon? Don't you mean DMan 1954, the major kaiju YouTuber?
Of course I mean DMan. Why, what did I say? Did I say demon again? I do that sometimes.
It's true, we just edit those takes out. So there really is no curse then.
Well, that remains to be seen, but I still have questions that need answering, and I'm going to do exactly that, after which I will tag people as well. That's how these things work. So, Snazzy, you read them off. What's question number 1?
Alright, let's see. What kaiju film have you revisited and learned to love?
That's difficult to say because, generally speaking, once I've formed an opinion on a movie, I don't usually change it. It stays pretty consistent throughout my life. I suppose if I had to pick something, it would probably be Godzilla vs. Megaguirus. I still don't really like it, but after doing my analysis in which I compared it to Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, which turns out they were both made by practically the exact same creative team, I certainly have a different sort of appreciation for it. But I still wouldn't say I really like it. And frankly, given how many movies in this genre are considered so bad they're good, it really is difficult to say that you consider something to be truly bad or truly good when you might find enjoyment in it because of how bad it is. So, that's the best I can do for that question.
Pretty long-winded, but alright. Best Toho tokusatsu film that's not a kaiju film?
Again, kind of a tricky one because I have seen other Toho tokusatsu films, but some of them do still have kaiju in them, or at least creatures that could be considered kaiju. For example, my first thought would be the Mysterians. Classic alien invasion movie, the first one that Toho really did in earnest. Great spectacle, great story, great metaphor, it all works. And for the most part, it is just a tokusatsu film, but then Mogera's in it. That original Mogera specifically. And while he's technically a giant robot rather than a giant monster, he still behaves and plays the same basic role as a kaiju. So I feel like if I chose the Mysterians, that would be kind of skirting the line. My second choice would have been Latitude Zero, which is incredibly campy, but is very, very enjoyable. It's campy in a charming way. But then I remembered Black Moth is in it. Black Moth, as I'm sure you can guess from the name, is a human transformed into a giant lion with the wings of an eagle. I mean, what else would it have been? And technically Black Moth is usually counted as a kaiju, but I feel like Black Moth isn't really in the movie all that much. I don't think the total amount of time it's on screen even amounts to 5 minutes. It only appears at the very, very end, and it doesn't really do all that much for most of the time it's there. Still, it's a kaiju, it's in the movie, so if Atragon can be counted as a kaiju film because Manda shows up at the very end, I feel like Latitude Zero probably is skirting that line as well. Speaking of which, that also rules out Atragon, of course. My third choice would have been the H-Man, which I was actually going to review for Halloween, but I ran out of time and the review just wasn't at a point where I was really satisfied with it, so I'm putting it off for now. I'm gonna refine it and hopefully get to it at some point in some form or another. But anyway, I would have gone with the H-Man, but that's what DMan went with, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm just copying his answers. So, definitely a great film, but it's not the one I'm going to go with. Of the non-kaiju movies I've seen then, that leaves Battle in Outer Space and War in Space. They definitely don't have any kaiju in them. They are strictly tokusatsu films, science fiction, alien invasion, spaceships, and alien creatures, but not kaiju. So, of those two, I'm going with Battle in Outer Space because it's the classic, it's overall stronger, and it's not blatantly ripping off Star Wars. It is taking influence from previous science fiction works, but it's not blatantly stealing the way War in Space did. So Battle in Outer Space is my choice simply because we can definitely say it does not have a kaiju in it. If we could expand the definition to be it has a kaiju but it doesn't really factor in all that much, I would have gone with Latitude Zero. And if we could say that we can count mecha as separate from kaiju, then I would have gone with the Mysteriums. That was a really roundabout way of answering the question, I know, but that's how I do things. What's next?
Next on the list, best non-Japanese giant monster.
I'm going to add the minus King Kong caveat because I don't want to just automatically go for him. By the way, you can probably guess when this video was being filmed if you're not watching it in December. Obviously, King Kong is a cinematic icon. I don't want to make it sound like I'm being dismissive or diminishing the role he played in influencing the medium. I just feel like I want to highlight some other giant monsters that are worth your attention. Anyway, I narrowed it down to 3 choices. Choice number 1 is the Emir from 20 Million Miles to Earth. Kind of in the same vein as King Kong, but very, very different. And one of the most sympathetic giant monsters out there. It's one of the few monsters, in fact, that we see literally from the moment it's born to the moment it dies. And it's sympathetic the whole way through that movie. It's one of Ray Harryhausen's most iconic creatures, and that is for a very specific reason. 20 Million Miles to Earth is a great film, and the Emir is a great monster. Slot number 2 goes to Gorgo and his mother Ogra from the movie Gorgo. A great film, a great spin on the whole kaiju genre with a very different sort of perspective. I think it's a great movie. Yes, it's cheesy. Yes, it's odd, but overall a very strong film. Not to mention the comics that were done by Steve Ditko are bat guano insane and really entertaining to boot. This issue was actually sent to me by a fan a little while ago, and I've been meaning to highlight it and do a public thank you, so now's as good a time as any. Snazzy, put up a display officially thanking this fan for me, will ya?
You got it.
And the third spot goes to Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors, specifically the 1980s musical. I know that Audrey 2 is a bit on the small side when it comes to giant monsters, but it can swallow people whole, it's big enough. I think Little Shop of Horrors is a great stage play and a great film. The musical one, that is. The Roger Corman movie, really campy, in a Roger Corman-y kind of way, but I also like that Audrey 2 is just different. It's a giant, weird Venus flytrap that sings. How many giant monsters can you think of that sing? I mean, that's certainly unique. Okay, so those are the ones I've narrowed it down to. The Emir, Gorgo and Ogra, and Audrey 2. Next question?
Okay, question number 4. Godzilla singular point. Are you of the excite? Man, somebody needs to go back to grammar school.
I am excited at the moment, but cautiously so. Because at this point, we only have the one trailer to go on, and it only shows a few seconds worth of footage. The whole trailer doesn't even amount to a full minute. So based on just that, I can already say it is a better piece of animation than the Polygon trilogy, and I mean that literally because it actually has animation in it, as opposed to the Polygon movies where Godzilla takes forever to move a single step. This has the monsters actually moving and feeling like they're alive. And, well, that's automatically an improvement, like I said. But at the same time, we don't really know all that much beyond what we just see there. Just because it's better visually doesn't necessarily mean it'll be better in terms of story and character development and all those other things. So, at this point, I'm hoping it's better and it looks like it will be better, but I'm still gonna brace myself because I've seen enough anime to know that a large chunk of it generally is not very good. For every series that goes big like Attack on Titan or Death Note or Cowboy Bebop, you've got at least 36 other titles that maybe get a little attention briefly and remain popular amongst otaku circles, but otherwise fade into obscurity. And it's often for a very good reason. I don't want Godzilla Singular Point to be one of those series, but I won't be surprised if that does turn out to be the case. At the same time though, still cautiously optimistic. It does look like an improvement, so hopefully it is. One more to go, what is it?
And question number 5, Godzilla vs. Kong. Are you looking forward to it?
Well, duh. I mean, of course I'm looking forward to it. This is the remake we never thought would happen. Toho tried to make it happen and they got hit with, it must have been blackmail material, because if you look at the court history, I don't see how they possibly could have been blocked by Universal from doing it. But hey, it's happening now through Legendary. I'm still looking forward to seeing it. Even with the delays, even with the lack of a trailer up to this point, I still am looking forward to it as of now. Simply because it's been a long time coming. So I am looking forward to it. I'm still covering news. I'm still keeping my eye open for things like that. And hopefully it's worth the wait. I really do hope it is. Whether it winds up going direct to streaming, or whether it's streaming and theatrical, or exclusively theatrical, who knows? Whatever the case, I am still looking forward to it. So, fingers crossed. We sure that's all of them? There isn't a secret one hidden somewhere?
Nope, that's all of them. Now you have to tag somebody. Who do you have in mind?
The people I shall tag are Alyssa Goji Geek 101, Transapient 1, Kaiju Network, Ganon Ghidorah, and His Holiness the Pope. I'm especially looking forward to hearing his answers. And just for the heck of it, I'll open the floor to the whole audience. If you guys want to jump down to the comment section and answer these questions, go right ahead. Okay, I've done my part. The rest is up to you. Until such time as we meet again, this is the Omni viewer signing off.
If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Like and subscribe, then go down to the description to find links to follow us on DeviantArt, Patreon, and Twitter. While you're there, you'll also find the Amazon links for the original novels Operation Red Dragon, The Daikaiju Wars Part 1, and The Occult Mafia. 2 books I think you'll really enjoy. Thank you all, and we appreciate your support.